reason we're supposed to be afraid of the snake.
Hey guys, and welcome to Enigmatic TV. I'm Edward Harvey and I'm joined with Johan Chapol.
Hi there.
And today, to follow on from our Halloween content we've been putting out recently, we'll conclude our content with a review of the latest Halloween movie.
Yes.
So I'm really sort of excited about this. We went to see it recently, didn't we?
Yeah, it was like last week.
It was Saturday, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It was the day after it came out, on the 20th.
I'm someone who, in terms of like the Halloween movies, I haven't seen every single Halloween. I've mostly only been interested in the Laurie Strode sort of timeline. So I've only seen 1, 2. I saw 3, but that's a completely different thing. And then I saw H2O, Resurrection, and now this one, right? Now, this one trumps all those other sequels, like 100%. This is a really, really good, well-constructed story in terms of at least Laurie Strode's side, which is the only reason why I like the Halloween movies anyway.
Yeah.
So I love her. I love her character in it. I personally think that it's Jamie Lee Curtis is doing a fantastic performance.
Yeah, it's possibly the performance of a career. Original sort of role in Halloween was a really good performance, but she was very young then.
Yeah.
So if you combine that with the wise Laurie, it's such a really great thing to see.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like there's a chance in H2O for her to, because she revisited the role again, to do something more interesting and quirky with it, but the script never allowed it. She was like, she was like a teacher and she was doing the thing and she's...
Yeah.
It felt very bland, very 90s. It didn't feel like inspired. This feels really inspired.
Yeah, I mean, H2O wasn't for me really clever enough.
Yes.
Because this is basically like another chance to do H2O, this movie.
Properly.
Because it's a similar kind of movie in terms of what we're doing, like where we're scrapping. Because H2O, let's talk about the timelines for a minute, so we can get a head around it. H2O timeline was Halloween, Halloween 2, then H2O, and then we get the Resurrection. That's that timeline.
I hate the fact the Resurrection's involved because the movie is so shit.
Yeah.
But and she's only in it for the first 15 minutes, so you're only there for that, and then she's scrapped.
But then there's the other timeline, which is Halloween, Halloween 2, 4, 5, 6.
Yes.
So that's got the most movies in it, that timeline.
That's basically the Michael Myers storyline, really, other than 3.
3, its own timeline.
Yes.
Because that has the original movie featured as a fictional movie in it.
That was meta as all heck. Yeah. And then now this one.
Yeah, the latest one, which is just Halloween, and then Halloween 40 years later.
40 years later. So let's go back to in terms of why I like the Laurie Strode thing, right? So what do you think of her character? Because I'm a huge fan of this.
The main thing about the movie that I enjoyed was the fact that the psychological sort of story within her. Like I loved the fact that the themes going on is definitely how a monster creates another monster, because she's not really a monster, but she has been damaged to the point of obsession.
Yeah, and to the point that other people would see her as being crazy, irrational, like, like, what are you doing? And this is why, because she's now transformed to do this, like, almost like apocalyptic kind of survivalist, like those, like, which some people, say, oh, I'm just getting prepared until the apocalypse happens.
Yeah.
And for most of us, they sound insane. Because it's like, nuclear bombs can launch any minute. Zombies could appear at any second. Floods, the world's coming to an end. I have a bunker. I'm ready.
Yeah.
But so to her to go through that, because she is, not because of the apocalypse, because she is getting ready for the day, knowing that Michael Myers is going to come out again to get her.
Yeah.
Is... Again, sounds like the ramblings of a crazy person, but it pays off because it shows her paranoia and everything else was kind of right.
Yeah, but the point that where it turns to sort of obsession rather than it being just her damaged was things that are very creepy. Like in her house, she's got a dollhouse of the Myers house.
Yes,
which says to me that she's a little bit obsessed with Michael Myers.
Yeah, it's almost like a Batman Joker thing. It's like they can't live without each other, almost. And she says, because if she didn't have, let's say she wasn't that traumatized, she didn't have Michael Myers in it, right? Maybe her thing is like, Michael Myers is now my thing. This is my goal. This is what I live for. I'm going to kill him, right? Yeah. So that's if that's being her only driving force. That's really sad, because that could have never happened. That could have never happened. Maybe Michael Myers just became nothing and then never came out again and spent the entire life for nothing.
Yeah.
But the whole point of this movie is that it is for something, and all her craziness paid off.
Yeah. And there's a running theme of roles being reversed, isn't there?
My favourite one is near the end, where, you know, there's a doorway and it's dark, and then her head pops out a little bit to have her face in the light, in the same way as how Michael did it.
Yeah, and
to chase her.
Also, in her house, there's some wardrobes look exactly like the wardrobe she's, trapped in the original movie, but this time Laurie's looking for Michael in the wardrobe.
That's the full role reversal I love. I also love the bit when she gets chucked out the window, and then people going out there to check it, and then she vanishes in the same way as Michael did. Yeah, like she does the drop and then disappears, and it's like
and it's like shot for shot. It looks exactly the same. That from from the view of the balcony down to the floor, and there's also lots of subtle role reversal foreshadowing, like the Bonnie and Clyde dress up.
Like for example, like it's like, oh, we're gonna. I think it's sometimes this is where I think some people might get a little annoyed with the movie or not, where it's like, oh, we are doing the twist on it, and some of it's hammered home a bit. Like the granddaughter is going out with this guy, right, and they say, oh, so you're gonna do Bonnie and Clyde, and they're like, we're gonna do Bonnie and Clyde with a twist, and it's like, okay, so that's foreshadowing that you're doing this whole movie as a role reversal and a twist, but it's also like you're putting it a bit on the nose. You didn't have to do this. But yeah, I think I know what you mean. It's like the whole movie's about this role reversal.
Yeah, and then like the bedroom kind of, the boogeyman's in the closet kind of scene. Yeah. Obviously, like the Tommy Doyle kind of in the original movie, he's talking about the boogeyman all the time, isn't he?
Yeah.
And the ghost, there's the sheet
on the ghost
on a character, but instead of it being Michael this time, it's his victim, isn't it? Yeah. So there's that one there as well, flipped over, and there's lots of that all the way through the movie, suggesting what's gonna happen.
Now, there's the thing is, some people may say like that's not very creative because it's like, oh, you're just rehashing the first movie at points, just swapping them around again, the whole twist thing. But I actually think it plays more with Michael Myers' psychology, because I think Michael Myers isn't that creative. I think Michael Myers likes these sort of things, and and this is his parlor tricks. This is all he can do. So it's not like he's going to, after being in prison for 40 years, he's not only going to suddenly come up with something incredibly, insanely different.
No, I mean, if you think about it, he always repeats the same. When he gets loose, he repeats the same sequence of events. Like, for example, he goes to a garage or whether gets his jumpsuit from a mechanic again. Yes. And then he kills a sequence of people in a similar way to how he did originally when he was 21.
Yeah, to get the mask, to get this, because that's the thing. It's like that's the kicker with this, and I think this is some people say, oh, it's annoying. No, I think this is all showing that he's rehashing this because he liked that night so much. That for him was his fun time. That he wants to recreate it again. Yeah. And that's again another really obsessed with that one night. Same with how Laurie is obsessed with killing Michael Myers. Michael Myers is obsessed with recreating that night again.
If we talk about, when he first gets his sort of killing spree as the shape, like he goes kind of a bit berserk on the streets, he's kind of loose on the streets with all the trick-or-treaters going around. That is very like a homage to Halloween 2. Yeah. As soon as you see that scene start, there's a slutty nurse. Yes. Suggesting the hospital in the Halloween 2. There is a scene where he goes, the first person he kills with that hammer.
Yeah, that's gross.
He looks in from the outside looking in. There's a woman preparing kind of a sandwich or something in the kitchen. That happens pretty much identically in Halloween 2 at the beginning.
What I do love is that shot is when he's looking in the window. He's completely clear window, and because the way the light's been shot, you can just see his mask just reflecting in that window, and that is. Oh, that was such a good shot. I'm like, oh, that was creepy.
And there's the girl that he kills that's on the phone. There's the girl that he kills on the phone in Halloween 2. So it's kind of that whole sequence is like homage Halloween 2.
Yeah.
Because I think what the filmmaker's doing is the director is kind of like saying, no, this is my Halloween 2.
Yes.
So he's referencing bits that happen in Halloween 2, but he's like saying, no, this is the new Halloween 2.
This is the way I would do it if I was doing Halloween 2. Yeah. So this is why again, this is the whole thing. So after we watched the movie, I started reading reviews and criticisms, and one of the criticisms like, "Oh, it's just it's nothing but an homage thing, but with a twist and blah blah blah." I love the little nods to the other movies. I love those little bits there and recreating like this is supposed to be the ultimate proper sequel. So all the little bits, he just grabbed all the best bits from some of the other movies, even if it is repeating like shot for shot some parts. I think it's the construction of it that I prefer. In this one,
because it is. I think some of them are quite on the nose, but there's a lot of subtle ones that only the fans will get.
So let's talk very quickly about the other characters, because I feel like we know that the central piece is Michael Myers and Laurie Strode, right? So all the other characters in the middle of it, this is where I think where we can get some sort of maybe difference of opinion. So you have. So at the very end of the movie, the whole point of the end of the movie almost is the whole 3 generations of women of the family surviving this horrible trauma. So you have Laurie Strode, you have the daughter of Laurie Strode who was raised kind of in a fucked up situation. You know, and I love the bit where Michael's gone into the house and she's holding like the sniper rifle, and she goes, "Oh no, I can't do it. Gotcha."
Is that bit? Is that she's sort of like drawing him in,
playing possum? I think.
Yeah. So, or is it the fact that she's just conditioned that she snaps into it straight away, or is she deliberately drawing him to her, playing the victim?
I would love to think that's actually all a manipulated plan. Because the fact that if she was conditioned and suddenly she sees Michael Myers and shoots her,
she wouldn't say gotcha, would she?
Exactly.
No.
And I also think like that would be really fucked up if you're instantly conditioned once you see the shape that you suddenly switch. And also, and the whole idea is that with this is like the daughter is not a fan of her mother, because like I didn't have a childhood because of you. I knew how to shoot a rifle at the age of 8. I knew how to set traps and bows and arrows and stuff like that. I never had a normal childhood, and you say like this is not normal. And I do not want your granddaughter, basically my daughter, to go through the same thing, which is where you get the granddaughter coming in and the other characters.
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, the granddaughter is like the new Laurie Strode, in my opinion, like how Laurie was in the original movie. And there's like this is obviously the scene where she's in the classroom that's like where Laurie in the original. And what was very interesting to me though, at the end, when they defeat Michael Myers, you see, I think Alison, her name is, the granddaughter. She's got, is it her or is it
her holding the butcher knife?
The knife at the end. But it's almost like, has another monster been created? Because or is it just that she's kind of got some fight in her? Like,
is this the thing that's causing? Is this a vicious cycle that she's now gone through another traumatic experience? And now she's the one who's going to end up like Laurie again because she's now traumatized. But now the whole family are in it together, which is, so many subtle themes with this that I really, really enjoyed.
Also, we didn't announce that this is like totally spoilers, by the way. Like everything in this.
I'm so sorry we didn't mention this. But if you've already watched about halfway through and didn't realise there's spoilers in it, oh my god, spoilers!
Maybe I'll do like some kind of graphic that says there is spoilers.
Well, we're saying it now.
Another thing, Halloween 2 ends with fire. This one ends with fire. So it is the new Halloween 2.
It's like literally how would we remake Halloween 2 properly? This would be it. There are some little annoyances I think with this. I will admit that other than Laurie Strode, Michael Myers, and the daughter and the granddaughter. Every other character is either there like just to
Disposable.
be disposable or fodder,
Yeah.
or it's just there to move the plot forward. And
Yeah.
it is, some of it is quite contrived. Like, for example, the podcasters.
Yeah, you think you'd see more of those, but
Yeah,
they
because
just
they're quite heavily in the
setup.
in the setup for it. Yeah.
Yeah, but now they're just, disposed of fairly quickly.
And this leads to sort of the other theme as well, because you have the doctor as well.
Yeah.
The psychiatrist, the doctor.
Who plays the new Loomis type character.
In fact, Laurie said, "Oh, so you're the new Loomis?"
Yeah.
Like even she admits that this is the new Loomis.
That's the thing. Sometimes the film's sort of spoon feeding you stuff, isn't it? It's like you're not working out he's the new Loomis. She's telling you this is the new
But
Loomis.
to be honest, we've kind of assumed already that you are the new Loomis. I would have liked some of the other characters to play a bit more of a role, other than this is just either fodder to get. Or fodder to get Michael to eventually meet up with Laurie again.
Yeah.
Like the doctor's, like the weird thing is like the copper. The moment he sees Michael Myers, instead of saying, "Oh, he's on the way, let's just drive the granddaughter back to Laurie's house," decides to impulsively run him over, which leads to the whole doctor murder thing that leads to get Michael in the car so that he's closer to Laurie's house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean by plot holes, little things like that.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is there's in this movie, there's kind of like characters that are kind of want you to think about the key characters in the original movie, but they're not like the same characters. Like, for example, they needed a replacement for Loomis, so they've got the new doctor. They needed a replacement for the sheriff in the original movie, so they've got this other who kind of makes you think of the sheriff, but he's not. He can't be the sheriff because he'd be like 90 or something.
The thing he said was like, I was there on 40 years ago.
Yeah.
But he's never referenced in any other movies.
I think he is supposed to be the officer that was first on the scene when Michael was captured after the original movie. So,
which we didn't see.
And apparently he was supposed to have prevented Loomis from killing Michael. Yeah. So he feels guilty that Michael is come back and is doing all the damage again.
Yeah,
so that's
and
why
Laurie even says that. Laurie says, like, you should have let him kill him.
Yeah. Who are your favourites then?
My favourite characters out of all like the teenagers and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so
like the fodder characters.
Out of the fodder characters.
Favourite fodder.
My favourite fodder character. Well, thing is, you like some of them enough where you feel sympathetic when they die, right? So, clearly is the granddaughter's best friend, who is the babysitter for the little kid. I think she's my favourite for the fact I actually got a little bit of time to know her. The other characters were. Well, you got the fat kid who's just basically a bit of a nerd who didn't really deserve to die. He just got really bad miscommunication.
He has got one of the scariest scenes though.
Yes.
It's I mean, that technique is not an original technique. It was, I think, established in the movie like Lights Out, the first time it did that kind of thing. In this short film of Lights Out and the feature film version, it's that whole on and off flickering of light.
That was really tense.
So it's not a new technique. The thing is with this movie, it's not really setting any bars or kind of like saying I'm doing stuff new. It's just using a lot of like tricks that have succeeded and been effective at scaring people.
The only one character I kind of wished got killed off but didn't was the boyfriend of the granddaughter. Now this is the reason why, because this is clearly him being a plot device. Again, this is why I think he's a wasted character. Is they build him up quite a bit until, the whole bit that he just basically becomes a douchebag and kisses another girl and goes off. And the whole point of this one is like, we need to be sure the granddaughter can't have access to her phone. So the boyfriend does this thing and drops the phone into what looks like some punch or some pudding or whatever it is, and says, "No, you don't have it." And I wish he died, because then that would have actually been a little bit of poetic justice, which is this movie's kind of missing. There's missing a few deaths where you're like, yeah, he deserved to die. Give everyone's fodder. It would be nice if one of them was like, yeah, he actually deserved it, the douchebag.
I think with this movie, I think they really want Michael to be a very scary evil character, and like sometimes they don't want you to root for him. So
True.
if he killed people you don't like as well, you'd be like, yeah, good, Michael killed that guy.
Yeah, the same thing. That's the Jason Voorhees effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because everyone that Jason Voorhees kills off, half of them are terrible people. So you're fine with it. I guess the whole point of it is that Michael kills at random. He's just getting back into the swing of things before he becomes obsessed again with Laurie Strode. Just like in the beginning of the first one, the Shape is being the stalker. He's obsessed with Laurie Strode and wants to personally kill her, but everyone else is in the way.
But what's interesting is like because they've scrapped the going for your sister type connection, he isn't going there just for her.
Yeah.
He's going there just to kill again. He wants to kill people. And it's only because he just happens to see her that he's like, oh, I'm going to finish what I started and try and get her.
Let me get her again.
Yeah, it's not like I'm going to Haddonfield just for Laurie.
Yeah.
He just wants to kill, you know.
And he wants to kill and he wants to recreate that night again.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is where all the things are great and they're good. It's all these little references, the rebuild, everything else. And that's why I think this movie is really, really good. I think I'll definitely watch it again. That's what I feel. I think like there's all these little kind of rehashes, these all little bits of memories, the themes underneath. There's a lot here. Some of it which sadly get cut off too soon, and some things which sadly I don't think get pushed further enough. But as a full package, especially the ending with where Laurie and the three women stand tall against Michael in this basically booby-trapped house is so satisfying.
The only thing that really got me in terms of like I would have liked it to be better is the fact that I'm constantly going to compare it to the original movie. Like that's all. I'm always going to do that.
Of course.
And the original movie has this tension throughout.
Yeah.
Like it's like from the get-go, even in the scenes where it's kind of just setting it up, you feel tense even when stuff that isn't happening that's scary. And it's because it's like it's set up at the beginning and you feel the threat right from the off with the original thing that happens with the Michael age 6 killing his sister. And then you know the threat is coming. And because of the music as well, there isn't really any music that's light, so it's kind of like always sinister throughout. And it's kind of like, that's what I was hoping would be in the new movie, the fact that there would be that constant threat.
So you mean the slow build?
And there wasn't really, and there was scary scenes, and it all kicked off towards the end, and got some awesome scary stuff, but I didn't feel the threat early on in the movie.
Yeah.
I felt that it was just kind of like, come on, get going a bit. Like
I think it's because the movie has about the movie is divided into 3 acts, very clear acts. The first act is everything up to the moment he gets his mask. Right, that's the first act.
Yeah.
Where he kills off the podcasters and those random people. All the gory bits are in the second act primarily, right? So by the time the second act is, that's all the gory bits. Just let's get the body count out, right? The first one's more about learning the characters, but it doesn't really give you enough time to do scares. The third act is the final confrontation, which is the most tense part of the movie, where Laurie's going around the house and trying to find Michael.
Yeah, I mean it's great. I will forgive the bits I don't like because of the final act, you know, like the confrontation between Laurie and Michael.
Yeah.
And that I will forgive the bits, but that said, I don't really. In order for it to be perfect for me, it needed to have all the bits fitting.
Yeah.
So that's why I can't review it kind of like it's a perfect masterpiece movie.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but I would have liked it to like somehow equal the sort of beats of the original movie, like in that way, for it to be a true kind of perfect sequel.
Yeah, I get you. It's not the perfect puzzle pieces, right? It's not, they don't slot in very easily, but all the bits that are in there are very good. All the themes they're trying to show, all the characters that are really sort of more central, the overall arcs of Michael and Laurie are great. But yeah, the tension doesn't build up because it's not constructed that sort of way to build tension. It's focusing more on Laurie Strode's and Michael's story rather than building up tension and scares and things like that.
And the only other thing as well, my only other criticism is the fact that the original movie, I mean, this obviously has the Carpenter score So it's kind of sounds like the original movie in terms of like that's right, everything's right with the music.
Yeah.
But for me, for it to be true sort of Halloween, it has to have the cinematography matching the music. And the thing is with the new movie, it looks beautiful, but it just is very clean and very kind of modern looking, and it doesn't match the cinematography of the original movie. And I mean, it's to do with the fact that the cameras are old on the movie, or the old movie. It's a cheaper movie and stuff like that. But that made it look great, I thought. Like, it was because it was creatively shot on a budget, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And a lot of that low-key lighting and the fact that it's super shadowy and stuff like that. I expect that you'd only probably get that if you shot it on old Panavision cameras like the original movie was. Because everything's clean in this movie, isn't it? It's beautifully clean.
Yeah, I get that. It's very sharp. It's clean. It looks like it's very well constructed. It doesn't look. It doesn't have that low budget look.
Just looks very expensive, doesn't it? It's the other thing. The budgets are completely different. You're talking like multi-million budget on this one.
Yeah.
And the original was like what, sort of 300,000 or something like that,
or 100,000, something really cheap.
Yeah.
And the first one relied so much on lighting effects and just sheer power of the performances, right? Because everything else was cheap and nothing else. The cameras, even that interesting like one shot at the beginning of the movie in the first one is trying to be emulated again in this one. But that one looked rough at the first one. Look, they had to use different techniques. You can see the invisible cuts almost.
Yeah, it's like a very early kind of Steadicam shot. I mean, later on, Steadicam used all the time, but back then it wasn't used that much. And it was very primitive Steadicam kind of shot,
and in
wasn't
this
it?
one, it's so smooth, and it takes longer. And I know what they were doing, because like, oh, look, we're following Michael, one shot on his murderous rampage. But you're like...
But they changed it this time round so that it's over the shoulder. It's not POV. And POV makes it more frightening.
Yeah.
I mean, any movie that's used POV heavily when it's the killer, like Maniac did it.
Yeah, we love that.
It's terrifying. You know, it's
gross as well.
When you're the observer kind of peering over Michael's shoulder, it's creepy as well, but it's not as creepy.
Yeah, you feel like you're still a bit of a distance away from Michael. When your point of view, you are Michael at this point. So when Michael's like stabbing somebody or like punching someone or strangling someone, it's not, you can't escape it because you are Michael, and it makes the viewer feel really uncomfortable. Here you can just kind of shudder away and look observing like a roller coaster ride, which this movie is. I think this movie is like a really fun popcorn roller coaster ride that stars Michael Myers.
Yeah, it's definitely the best sequel of Halloween movies.
Definitely.
Definitely the best sequel.
All of them, this is the best one.
Yeah.
I will say then, let's wrap this up then. The movie is great. It's really good. And yes, we may have been critical may have been very critical about it, but that's because we're very passionate about it, and we can clearly see that there are some really, really interesting twists and turns in this movie that either the movie didn't push hard enough, or they were batting for the wrong team for certain things, right?
Yeah.
It's still fantastic. It's wonderful. It's gory. It's got the Laurie Strode and Michael Myers' sort of story arc is fan-flippin-tastic, and the third act is spot on.
Yeah, I mean, the things they had to get right were Laurie and Michael, and they did that.
Yeah.
They're perfect versions
there we go.
of those characters, so yeah.
So yeah, we won't do a rating on this, but basically, we'll just say, watch it.
Yeah, if you're a fan, watch it. If you're not a fan, you'll probably, and you just like horror movies, you'll like it as well, I imagine.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we call it a day there then, yeah. So see you next time on Enigmatic TV. Take care of yourselves.
Woo!